The 10 most expensive movies ever made. What if we told you that the cost of making your favorite movie is enough to buy a small country? Just about everybody knows that movie making is an expensive business, but only a few people know that sometimes movie budgets run into hundreds of millions of dollars. Join FlickFix as we show you the top 10 most expensive movies ever made. Number 10. The Lion King 2019, $250 million.
While some are born to feast, others spend their lives in the dark.
Coming in at number 10 is the 2019 version of The Lion King, which cost $250 million to make. The remake of the 1996 classic cost Disney a hefty check for its high-tech CGI and 3D effects. The staggering budget doesn't just cover animation costs, but also a star-packed voiceover cast that included many A-list artists, including Beyoncé. The film was part of Disney's latest trend of remaking its classics, and it indeed paid off for the studio. The film was a hit worldwide and had a global gross of $1.7 billion, making the risk completely worth it. Number 9. Star Wars: The Last Jedi 2017, $260 million.
To show me my place in all this.
The fan-favorite Star Wars franchise makes its way into our list at number 9. The 2017 movie was the second installment of the Star Wars sequel trilogy following The Force Awakens in 2015. The movie was indeed a blockbuster, costing Lucasfilms $260 million in production and distribution costs. The heavy CGI effects pushed the movie over the $200 million mark, but the cost of filming in different locations also added to the movie's incredible budget, as filming was done in more than 5 different countries, including Mexico, Ireland, Croatia, and Bolivia. Luckily for Lucasfilms, the cost of production paled in comparison to the $1.3 billion in worldwide gross the film garnered, and turned out to be a great gamble by the production company. Number 8. John Carter 2012, $264 million.
You are John Carter of Earth?
Yes, ma'am.
Taking the number 8 spot on our list is the 2012 Marzian blockbuster John Carter. The movie was released by Disney in an attempt to launch a new franchise with preceding sequels, but as it turned out, that wasn't the reality. John Carter would turn out to be one of Disney's biggest flops ever at the box office, grossing under $150 million worldwide, the studio more than $100 million in losses. These losses were significantly higher, but the studio received a tax cut from the British Tax Commission, which helped mitigate some losses. The high cost of the movie was due to the CGI effects, which cost way more than they do now, as they were still relatively new back in 2012. Number 7. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker 2019, $275 million.
We're not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them.
People keep telling me they know me. No one does.
Another Star Wars movie takes the number 7 spot on our list, and seeing how The Rise of Skywalker cost over $275 million to make, it's a well-deserved spot. The movie was the third and last installment in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and viewers waited more than 2 years after the previous film for it to hit the big screen. The movie saw an end to the evil empire, and it also saw The Last Jedi realizing her full potential. While the film was the most expensive in the trilogy, it wasn't as successful as the second installment, realizing just above $1.1 billion in the box office, but still a phenomenal success nonetheless. Number 6. Justice League 2017, $300 million.
Organic and biomechatronic body parts. He's a cyborg.
Whoever you're looking for, it's not me. You're the Batman?
Coming in at number 6 is the 2017 Justice League film, which cost over $300 million to make. The movie was the first movie adaptation of the comics, and it was set to go in a different direction before director Zack Snyder had to leave the production for another director to step in. The movie still turned out great in the end, and while it didn't run at a loss to the studio, it still didn't do as well as we hoped. A movie with Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Batman should have grossed in at least $1 billion in the box office, but it ended up grossing just $657 million. A new version with Zack Snyder's cut was released in 2021, but it didn't do as well either. Number 5. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, 2007, $310 million.
If you stab my heart, yours must take its place.
Would you breathe the weird and haunted shores at World's End?
At number 5, we have the third installment in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, At World's End. The movie is undoubtedly a fan favorite, with Captain Jack Sparrow taking us on yet another treasure hunt across the seas. At World's End was yet another box office success, grossing over $960 million worldwide, just a little bit shy of the billion-dollar mark. The movie was originally thought to be the franchise's final installment, before Dead Men Tell No Tales was released. Number 4. Avengers Infinity War, 2018, $320 million. Coming in.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
We got one advantage. He's coming to us.
Coming in at number 4 as the fourth most expensive movie ever made is the third installment of the Avengers franchise, Infinity War. The Avengers movies have always been box office successes, from the very first movie in 2012 to Endgame in 2019. Infinity War was undoubtedly a great movie introducing the purple villain Thanos to the MCU. The superhero cast, the amazing 3D effects, and the movie's overall plot all make it no surprise that it cost $320 million to make. The movie was a global success, and it's the first movie on our list to gross $2 billion worldwide, making it the highest-grossing film of 2018. Number 3. Avengers Endgame, 2019, $350 million.
God, seems like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you.
The world has changed.
Avengers Endgame takes up the number 3 spot as the third most expensive movie ever made. The final battle of the Avengers franchise was indeed one for the history books as a cinematic marvel. Comprising of more than 30 major superhero characters in the MCU, Endgame was a global phenomenon, bringing an end to the villain Thanos and restoring balance to the universe. The movie broke box office records, grossing over $2.8 billion worldwide, surpassing James Cameron's Avatar as the highest-grossing movie of all time. Number 2. Age of Ultron, 2015, $365 million.
1. If you stay here, you'll die.
Taking the number 2 spot as the second most expensive movie ever made is yet another Avengers movie, Age of Ultron. The film was the second installment in the franchise, introducing new characters like Wanda and Vision with a new villain, Ultron, to the MCU. It's unclear why Age of Ultron was this expensive to make, but reports have it that using CGI effects to portray a floating city and a robotic villain made up for the high cost. Luckily, the high price paid off, with the movie grossing over $1.4 billion in the box office, making it yet another MCU success. And number 1, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, 2011, $410 million.
What is this?
Your Majesty, got him up in a fishing net. A fishing net?
Sire, he's been telling stories that he...
We believe he's found them.
The Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides takes the number 1 spot as the most expensive movie ever made. The producers went all out with the fourth installment of the blockbuster franchise, writing the biggest check in movie production history to bring the franchise to a presumed close. The movie was the last time Johnny Depp and his ever-drunk character Captain Jack Sparrow would grace the franchise alongside veteran actor Ian McShane as Blackbeard and Penelope Cruz as Angelica. The movie proved to be well worth the hefty check, grossing in over $1 billion at the box office. Many movies do well when they're released, with people staying true to fan favorites and embracing new releases. And while some of these movies make millions, at the end of the day, some of them end up losing millions as they cost a lot more to make. But hey, that's just the way it is in Hollywood.